How has some drama developed you as a person? It's still fresh, man. It's still very fresh. So it's been going on for about a month now. Probably one of the biggest things is just mind control, just realizing that it really is not what the real world throws at you, but just your inner mind that dictates how much suffering you will go through certain situations. Like it's not the actual facts of what's happened to you. It's just how your mind perceives it. It's what your inner voice says about it. So, one of the biggest lessons so far has just been how valuable the training for the inner mind, the inner voice is. Because if your inner voice is pleasant, it doesn't even matter what's happening in the real world. All that matters is just what's happening in your mind. Honestly, like 99% is your voice, your inner voice, and 1% is the real world. Especially if the real world you're not being like physically harmed, or you're not going to get to the point where you're starving, whatever. So that's like one of the biggest things. It's really taught me not just simply meditation, but rather like more of those mindsets and practices for harnessing the inner mind and taming it and realizing that it is the cause of suffering and not the things in real life. Yeah, probably that's the biggest thing I would say. So far, like someone asked me about this actually a few days ago, and I ended up saying something interesting. I said, um, so far, it's been about a month since it's all been happening. So far, it's all been like my mind's all been on in terms of business. Okay, this response, this thing. Okay, he said this on his YouTube video. Oh, people are commenting on my YouTube video, whatever. And I said to him, like, because it's still active right now, I've not had the sort of time or space to process not the business side of things, but actually the personal side of things. It's like it's a friendship, right? And it's interesting because I've not really felt like very sad at all for the friendship and the personal side of it just yet. I think I will soon in the future, or I think I've started to today. Actually, it's interesting you asked this today because I just sent Sam a message before. I think today's been the first day since it all started where it's felt now like I'm processing it in terms of my actual personal life and my heart, rather than seeing it all in the lens of having to sort of like deal with it in a business setting as a professional. Does that make sense? It's kind of like so far, I've only really had the space to look at it as a professional in terms of YouTube, brand management, reputation, those kinds of things, rather than actually process the personal thing of like, it's a friend, so it's a very personal thing there. And today was the first time I actually felt something about that. Yeah, they're probably the two things my mind has been on. The first thing was the importance of the inner voice training, which yeah, it is like an act of stoicism and like Buddhism, I assume. And then the other thing, yeah, was like I've only really had the space to look at it in the lens of my professional life. Because someone asked me and they were like, "Oh, how does it all feel?" And I said something like, "Oh no, like it's not so bad because my sort of response is good or whatever." And he was like, "No, no, like how does it feel? This is your friend." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I've not even had any sort of time or space to sort of feel it personally." So that's one thing, and to be honest, that's pretty normal as well. So I felt like today was the first day where I actually felt like something. Like I ended up thinking about like the surgery I had in Dubai, and yeah, that's when I started to think, oh yeah, like Sam was there with me, and that was really nice. And when someone asked about Anastasia as well, like my ex girlfriend, um, and I said, I went on my photo album today randomly, and there was like a memory. It like pops up with like a memory or something. And I ended up watching like a couple of videos of ours from like 2022, 2023 when we were in like London or whatever. And one of them, actually, I randomly mentioned Sam in the video. Like, we weren't really even talking about it. It was just me and my girl. We were just recording like silly videos for ourselves. And in the end of the video, what did I say? The end of the video, I ended up saying something about Sam, like, some joke me and Sam have, and I told it to like my ex girlfriend, something like that. Like, and it was on a video like this, and we were like laughing about it and whatever. So, yeah, man. If you haven't had time to feel it personally, then what was with the tears in your first response? Was that a case of getting caught up in the moment, unprocessed feelings coming out? Yeah, I remember that moment. That it was interesting. I cried at that moment. I was considering just trimming that bit out, but because yeah, honestly, I think maybe it was just like overwhelm or some shit, or just pain. Because it was specifically when I spoke about what he had said in his video, and I think that's when a bunch of tears came out. Because in my mind, I'm not too sure, honestly. Like, there wasn't much logic behind it or anything, but it's interesting that that's when I started to cry in the entire video. I didn't feel kind of like very sad through the entire video, apart from that moment where I said like, oh yeah, like, he said that he was like, it was like a threat that he made, right? And I think that's when was talking about that, that's when I ended up tearing up. So yeah, yeah, I probably just cried because it was like, that probably is quite a lot to deal with, isn't it? If your friend makes like a threat about you publicly. Yeah. Once we had the video ready, I was debating just trim that bit out, because I'm not sure if it like, it kind of like looks weak or some shit. But yeah, I was like, fuck it. My channel, my videos have always been like so raw and authentic. Yeah, I reckon over the next few days, even weeks, and maybe even months, I'll start processing more of it, because I've just not really done so much right now. I've just only been able to think about it in the lens of like professionalism, brand management. So it'd be nice to take some time and just grieve like a friendship that's not here anymore. The real question is, did Sam reply to your text? I only sent it a couple of hours ago, so he's not replied yet. He probably, to be honest, he probably is like processing things the same way I am as well. So I didn't think he would reply like right away anyway. Because if I got that message from him, I think I would have like sat on it for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, man. But look, it's a part of life, man. You have relationships and friendships. You have great times and bad times. You have conflict. You have communication issues. You have arguments and fights. With everyone you love, you'll end up having massive fights. I hate you. You're the worst person ever type of fights. So, fuck it. I just hope I can turn it into a good lesson for you all over the next few months. I'm sure I'll talk about it more, and I'll end up talking about it in the lens of like, like social skills and friendship, communication skills, empathy, understanding. There'll be so many lessons that I'll be able to like pick out of this just to sort of teach you guys more. Yeah, I bet in a year's time, you and Sam will be cool again. Yeah, I wonder. There's a chance for that for sure.